morning. In continuation to the chapter The Cell, today we shall be discussing about the most important cell organelle, that is the nucleus. So far we have discussed other cell organelles and their functions, and in this part 8 we are going to discuss about the nucleus, where it is located and what are the contents within the nucleus and how does it work. So in nucleus, it is known as basically the brain of the cell, because all the cellular functions, those are being controlled and organized by this nucleus. Nucleus, as I have told you in the previous class, in plant cells it is located not exactly to the center but sidewise, while in case of animal cell they are located in the center of the cell. So nucleus is also called the brain of the cell, as it controls all the functions within the cell, whether this is a matter of the life process or the matter of cell division. Everywhere the nucleus is remaining involved. Now, what is there into the nucleus? Nucleus has certain part within it, that is chromatin network, which are made of DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, and also within the nucleus there is RNA, that is ribonucleic acid, and especially RNA, that is one is mRNA, that is called messenger RNA, being released by the nucleus, which are basically involved for the synthesis of different kinds of protein. And for the purpose of protein synthesis, the different kinds of messenger RNA are being released from the nucleus, which are involved in the synthesis of the different proteins which are needed for the formation of other cell organelles, or maybe for the purpose of new cells, or for the purpose of fighting against the foreign bodies. So different kinds of proteins are needed within the cell, and which these messages are passed on through the nucleus, and accordingly mRNA, this RNA is formed, and messenger RNA that gives rise to the ribosomes, where the required form of proteins are being synthesized. So this is a chain process which are passing through one part to another and so on. So this way especially for the purpose of synthesis of the protein. These are needed. But this chromatin network within the cell, within the nucleus, that is made up of the DNA strands. And DNA are very, very important in the sense because it contains genetic materials which hold the various informations for the purpose of life process. And these messages or these genes are passed on to the subsequent generations. So this is the hereditary factor, and about the DNA, its structure, how it is being formed, those things you will study in the higher classes. Right now, just simply you know that DNA is a hereditary material which are passed on from the parent cell to the subsequent generations. And accordingly, the new cells formed from the pre-existing cells, they perform similar function as the parent cell was doing. Now, this chromatin network that turns into chromosomes, and chromosomes are the thick structures which develop by condensing the chromatin network during the cell division. If you will observe this chromatin network or in the nucleus of a cell with a very high or powerful microscope, it will just appear as a bunch of threads, but they condense, they become thicker and get separated, separated when it's a time for the cell division, and cell division occurs when the cell gets matured enough. So during the maturation only, that is, chromatin will turn into chromosomes that will appear. Now, the number of chromosomes in the different organism in every cell, that is the same in the number. For example, in the human being, there are 23 pairs of chromosomes. Normally, in the eukaryotic cells, they remain into the pairs. But in the prokaryotic cells, like bacteria, there is a single strand of the DNA is there. So these chromosomes, they carry the hereditary material, and at the time of cell division, they replicate, means they make their own carbon copies, and into the daughter cells or the new cells which are being formed, they are getting the same number of chromosomes as the parent cell was having. So this is the matter of cell division and the formation of the new cells. However, the new cells will be carrying out the similar function as the parent cell because of these chromosomes which contain the genetic materials over it. Now if I just simply try to draw a figure of nucleus, this is having this type of, this is chromatin basically are responsible for releasing the messenger RNA, which are responsible for the synthesis of different kinds of protein. So the detailed study about the nucleus and its functions you will study in your next classes or the higher classes. So some of you had asked me about the DNA and RNA and their functions. I hope their queries would have been clarified over here. And after this, we will have the diagram, which is of course very important for the understanding and explanation of the cell in the plant cell as well as the animal cell. And obviously with the diagram you will find certain differences within it. So the simple diagram, just you will have the animal cell and the plant cell side by side, where you will understand what are there within the animal cell, what are there within the plant cell. Those parts, what are there into the animal cell, what are there into the plant cell, we have already discussed in the previous classes. However, through the diagram you understand it, and that will be followed by the difference between the animal cell and the plant cell. So now this is the diagrammatic sketch of the plant cell, where this is cell wall attached to it, cell membrane, nucleus, Golgi apparatus, plastic, mitochondria and vacuole. So this way you can draw the diagram of plant cell. So this is diagrammatic sketch of plant cell, where most of the parts of the cell has been displayed, and within it we can write it cytoplasm. So in a cell, what appears over here, that is the cell wall, below it is the cell membrane, and thereafter the different cell organelles are there, like nucleus, Golgi apparatus, plastid. As I told you during the discussion of the plastids, the different three kinds of plastids may be there. Any on one of that is there within the cell. Then ribosomes, then the rough endoplasmic reticulum, a smooth endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, a large size vacuole, and the cytoplasm. And this way you can have the diagrammatic sketch of plant cell. And just remember how the different organelles have been drawn over here, and you can very easily distinguish them just by observing. So that way you have to draw the diagram. Once or twice you will practice it, you can do it well. And while drawing the animal cell, certain parts like this will not be there. In this place, what we will have? We will have lysosomes. In the animal cell, we will not have the cell wall. We will not have such a large size of vacuole, and the nucleus will be in the center. So just with little difference, you can draw animal cell as well. So you can try to draw the animal cell at your own. However, in my next class, I shall be explaining the animal cell, and that will be followed by the difference between plant cell and the animal cell. So with this, I end the class today. Thank you very much for being with us.